Today I want to show you my 5 most favorite ways to make folded pockets. So we have the normal side pocket like this, flip it over. This is the left side pocket, or you could have the center pocket, or maybe a pocket along the edge of the page. But these are special pockets because we fold them before we put them in the journal. So this one's called a burrito fold. These are my names. Well, kind of. I made some of them up. The burrito fold, because it kind of looks like a burrito or folded like a burrito. This is the stair-step fold. This one I call the mountain peak fold. This one is simply the circle fold because you use a piece of paper that's cut into the circle shape. And this one is a bit of origami. And I think this one's called, is it an envelope or a teacup? I can't remember. One of those folds. But I call it just an envelope, or my origami envelope fold. So I will show you how to do each of these. So let's see. Let's start with this easy burrito fold. It's so easy, you probably know how to do it, but I'm just going to run through it real quick. That way, you will know how I do it. Okay, so you need a square piece of paper. So I'm kind of cheating here, and I'm going to just fold this paper so I get a square. Okay, does not need to be perfect. If you need it to be perfect, make it perfect. But if you don't, it does not need to be perfect. Okay, so we have a square, and it's just basically, you can kind of still see this little crease along here. It's basically, you fold it along, you line up the tip of your corner here to that fold, and mind where your lengths are. Kind of make sure they're similar lengths. You can also line it up with the text here to make sure it's kind of even on the page, and then you can go ahead and fold it. Okay, and then you'll want this length to be about the same as this length. And sometimes, like this is going to be folded in here, it's okay. All right. So at this point, you can chop this part off. You can fold it again and glue it all down. But that's basically the burrito fold. And you can, what you do is you glue down, here, let's just tear that off real quick. And I'm going to, I don't normally use glue sticks, but for these purposes I am, just because I don't want to get my glue out and make a mess. This will be a quick way to glue these down. So we'll do that. And then I'm going to do this here. Okay, so now I will go ahead and, now that these are, I'll wait till it's completely dry, and then I would add probably like an image or a cluster or something to cover that up. So you basically see this. One thing I should mention, and you can see the difference here, is before I glued things down on this one, I went ahead and I inked the edges. So if you want to do that, make sure you ink the edges before you glue them down. And I see I forgot to ink this edge, which is quite alright because it doesn't, like it's an outer edge, it doesn't matter. But anyway, so you would ink this edge, this edge, this edge, this edge, and these edges. Okay, and then on this one, I rounded the corners, so you could go ahead and do that too, just to make it like a cleaner, more feminine kind of looking fold. And then you would go ahead and ink around the edge like that. So that's the burrito fold. Real simple. Okay, next one. Let's do the origami envelope fold. This is one of my favorites. This is one that I could sit and do continuously for hours. I don't know why. Who knows why we do the things we do? But I just love this fold. It's simple, and once you get the hang of it, it's really more, you know, automatic. But if you don't know the fold, you start with a square piece of paper, okay, and then you fold it in half. And this is one pocket where you do not have to be precise. See, it's not completely exact, which is fine. Okay, so for this one, I pretend to fold it in half this way, and I just pinch this corner so I know where the center is, because then I'm going to line up this point to this crease point, and then I'm going to fold it. I'm going to flip it, oh, no, not flip it over. You can flip it over if you want, but then I'll just fold this one over too. So when you do this, you can have them, you can put it like this and have like a clasp or a magnet or something closing it, or you can put it on the page like this and glue all the back down, or you can put it like this. So depending on how you want it in your journal or how you want to use it is whether you'll do this step or not. But I am going to, because I kind of want it to be either this way in my journal or this way. So we're going to do it like that, and then turn it around. I'm right-handed, so it's easier for me to fold using my right hand. And then we're going to line up this edge with this edge, and we're going to leave a little bit of space there for, not a ton of space, but enough for a nice pocket to be formed once it's open. So we'll do that, and then we're going to do this side too, same way, this edge against this edge. Leave a little bit of wiggle room there, and then fold it. Okay, And that is basically it. Now, I would unfold it and ink it if I wanted to do that, but I am just going to glue it here, glue it here, and then since I'm going to be laying this flat in my journal, I'm going to glue this piece down. There, just like that. So that's the origami pocket fold. And you can glue that right into your journal and have a cute little pocket to store stuff in. Okay, so that's pocket number 2. Let's go with this pocket, the circle pocket. It's probably, I wouldn't say the hardest, but it's probably a little bit more time consuming. You'll need scissors for this one. So I have a couple of decorative papers here, and I think I'll do both sizes for you. This one I think is about this size. This is an 8-inch circle, I believe. A little bit, yeah, about 8 inches. This one I traced a CD, and so this one is 4 3/4 inches. Okay, I'm gonna do this little trick again to find the center of my circle. Okay, so it's roughly, I'll make it really big so you can see it. Roughly right there. Okay. So, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and fold half in. So this half of the circle, I'm basically cutting it in half. I'm going to turn it around and do the same thing with this side. And it's easiest if you line it up on a grid. You can kind of see my grid. I need a new cutting thing. But if you can kind of guess to where it's going to be somewhat straight. So this is 2 5/8, 2 5/8. Okay, so then you can also use, you know, a bone folder to make it really creased. Okay, so then you fold the bottom up and you crease again. Okay, so there you have the start of your pocket. So now you open it up and you'll see you have these nice lines that you can use as a guide to cut. And I'm going to cut from the outer circle to that fold point there. And turn around and do this side. That fold point. Okay, so then we're going to fold it up like this. And as I'm folding, I'm trying to keep it folded nicely and straight while I fold it the opposite way here. Okay. And then do these right there. There. And then you have it. So I would glue down this edge. So this edge right here, this edge right here, and then this edge and this edge. And once again, if you want it inked, you would do that before you glue it down. And as you can see here, you would want to do these and these. But see how it pops after it's inked? So much nicer. So, but there you go. Okay, so now we'll do the 8-inch one. And I can already, I used a protractor on this one, so I know where the center is. That's one benefit about using a protractor. Okay, so this one, we're going to do half again. I kind of line it up with my lines here. And then I'm going to do this side. Okay, there we are. We have that one. And now we're going to fold it up to about here. And this fold is really subjective. You can do it here, you could do it like here, here, you know, however you feel, however far up you feel you would like it to be. And fold it real nice. Okay, so now we're going to unfold it, and I'm going to cut this edge and this edge. And I think this one I am going to ink with my vintage photo here. So I can actually use this one in my journal, or want to use it in my journal, because this is just too pretty not to. Alright, so we don't need to use the full circle, because we're not going to be seeing the full circle, right? We're just going to be seeing this part. This we'll need to do the full circle, because that's our edge along here. And these are going to be flipped this way. So we just need to do this edge. And this edge. Okay. And I think I want some more right there. So let's do that a little bit. A little bit heavier, a little bit better. I want to have that edge stand out a lot. Okay. Alright. So then you can just go ahead and glue it, and then do the outside, and you have all your edges done. So I'm going to go ahead and glue it now. So I'll do this edge. And this edge. And then I'm going to do this edge. And this edge. so that's what I call the circle pocket, the circle fold, circle pocket. It comes up. Yeah, I will probably use my regular craft glue to glue this down if they don't stay. Right now, I'm just going to do that and set them aside. Okay, so the next one, I'm going to do, let's do this mountain peak one. So this fold, you're going to need a rectangle piece of paper. This one takes a little bit of practice. So what you're going to be looking at is these two peaks right here. So that's what we're going to try to reproduce. So we're going to fold it like this and try to line it up with the text on the page, and it will fold pretty nicely for you. Okay, like that. Alright, and then now we're going to fold this edge in and line up this edge with the bottom edge. Let's do it right about there. And then we're going to want this length and this length to be the same or similar. So that determines how far you fold it in. So let's do about right there. And that is pretty much it. Now, you fold in this little tab that's right there, and there you have your pocket. And once again, before you glue this into your pocket, what I would do is glue it right, or put glue right there, and then slip it in there and have it glue itself to the page, and that will keep it completely glued closed. But if you want it inked before then, or if you want it inked before you glue it in, undo it and do this edge, this edge, this edge, this edge, whatever edge you think you want inked. So then you do this edge, and then you go ahead and glue it down, and then you glue it to your page. So that's what I call the mountain peak fold. Okay, let's move on to the last one. And this one I call the stair-step fold. And this one is also a rectangular piece of paper. Since I'm right-handed, I always fold from my right side. I just can line it up better. So fold it in half, wrong way, and then I'm going to flip it around. And then you can make this length whatever length you want it. So let's say you don't want to trim it at all. Then I would suggest doing it about, let's see, let's measure real quick. A 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch from the top is about what I would do, maybe an inch. But if you wanted to cut part of this off and make a shorter one rather than a long one like this, you can do that too. But I'm just going to make this size, full size, and I'm going to go about there and fold that nice and flat. Okay, and then you take this top one. Okay, so you have 4 sheets basically. 1, 2, 3, and then the back. You take the top sheet only and you fold it over so it lines up with this edge. So you're folding a triangle basically. Now the next one, you go about the same length in as you do. So this height right here, I would basically do like a square type of thing, and I would fold this part about that length in. And once again, you can use your text on your page. And then the same thing with this one, about the same length in. You fold that one. And then this one about the same. So you're kind of stair-stepping these folds. Okay, so like that. And then you obviously would ink it first if you wanted to ink it, but then you glue that one down, and you glue that flap, and then you tuck it and glue on the inside, and you repeat until your tucks are all folded and glued in. And then the last thing you do, because you still have this up like that, is you go right along this edge and glue that to complete the second pocket along that edge. So then you have 1, 2, 3 pockets in one. And there you go. That's your stair-step pocket. Do you have a favorite pocket that I didn't cover? By all means, comment on this video and let me know. And if I don't know it, I will do a tutorial. I research it and do a tutorial. Or maybe you can show me how you like to do your pockets. So there you go. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. See you next time. Bye.